Patrick Cook here. Welcome to session number 17 of the Mastering Mandelbulb 3D Formula tutorial series. Okay, now in the last session I was talking about transform formulas. They can be identified because they have an underscore preceding the transform formula's name. They are intended to have an impact or transform the formula that is in the next higher slot. They do not create their own graphic image. All right, they are transforms that are intended to work with other formulas. Okay. So far we had talked about the 3D, the 3DA, you remember what the A stands for, the 4D, the 4DA. All right, now let's go over the ADS. Now, ADS formulas, there's 3 drop-downs here. You'll notice that they all have a prefix ahead of them. They're all transform formulas. All right. Now, the transform formulas that are over here in these escape time, the reason that they're over in the 3D and the 4D areas is because they are intended, they're designed to function at the math level as escape time formulas. ADS is not necessarily. All right. Typically, they are escape time, but not necessarily. So for whatever reason, the designers of the Mandelbulb 3D software felt that it would be best to call these things ADS. Now, I don't know what ADS stands for, and I haven't been able to find out. All I know is, and all I really care to know, is that they are transform formulas. All right. So if I'm in formula slot number 1 and I pick an ADS formula, I don't know, let's planefold. All right, now planefold, it's a transform formula, so I know I want to put another formula in the second slot. Now I'm going to just stay with Axion. Let's calculate that and see what we get. Okay, all right. So that is the Axion C with an ADS transform formula of plane fold. Let's just try another one. ADS, what's this? N-gon. Oh, I haven't changed the Axion C over on formula slot number 2. Let's do that. Calculate. Okay, all right. You see here how the Axion shape itself is, you can see the Axion shape in there, all right? And we can see here that our N_N-gon is having a modification effect on our Axion C. Let's just do this. Let's erase this. Oh, by the way, the only way that I know of to remove a formula from a formula slot is you do a backspace and then you hit enter. And that's how you remove a formula from a formula slot. So what I have now is I have only Axion. Now, I mentioned before, and here we'll demonstrate it again, that if there is no formula in a formula slot, it won't execute. Obviously, there's nothing to execute. So let's calculate that. And here's our Axion C. And I can prove that nothing executed here in Formula 1 because I'm going to go to Formula 2 and I'm going to do the swap. So I'm going to push it over to Formula 1. We're in Formula 1 now. And I'm going to calculate. I'm getting the same graphic. That just proves that formula slot number 1 did not execute when I had removed the formula. Okay. All right. So let's. So that is what our Axion C looks like in its native form. In other words, no transform assigned. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put that Axion C back over into formula slot number 2. I'm going to come to formula slot number 1, and I'm going to pick an ADS. All right, I'm just picking anything. Sin HX. And I'm going to calculate it now. Let's see what it looks like. So I took my Axion C and I applied an ADS transform formula to it, and poof, I got something like entirely different, but you can still kind of see your Axion C shape in there, but I've applied a transform to it. I'll pick a different ADS. All right, let's see what it looks like. Okay, there's my Axion C with a whole palm 2 ADS transform formula applied to it. So I think this pretty much demonstrates that any formula that has an underscore preceding the formula's name is a transform formula. And you have 3 columns of ADS for transform formulas, and you have transform formulas that are scattered about under the 3DA, the 4D, and the 4DA. There's a couple of them there, 1. Most of your transform formulas are sitting over in the ADS columns. Okay? All right. All right, good. Now, let's clean up. I'm going to do a reset. I'm going to do a calculate. I'm back to my integer power, so I'm all cleaned up. Now, the 3D, the 3DA, the 4D, and the 4DA, those are escape time formulas, which means that there is a calculation that goes on, and if the point falls within the orbit, and the orbit is defined by things like the our bailout, then a point on the screen is formed. If not, there is no point. That's how a Mandelbulb graphic is created. The points fall within the orbit and forms a design. All right. Those are escape time formulas. And we also talked about the transform formulas, which will have an impact on another escape time formula. So far, 3D, 3DA, 4D, 4DA, and ADS are all in the realm of escape time formulas. That whole scenario. If the calculation falls within the orbit, you'll get a design. Now, what I want to do next is I want to talk about this dIFS. Those are shape formulas. All right. And so what we're going to do is we're going to end this session right now. We're coming up on 10 minutes anyway. And when we come back in the next session, I'm going to talk about these dIFS formulas. I'll see you there.